beautiful Scorpio, welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with a little bonus reading all about you. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I'm using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you're someone who is sensitive to sound, okay? So let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Scorpio, this is a little bonus reading all about you. Us tarot readers, we tend to focus on career, money, love, but we never ask how are you doing. So this reading is going to tap into what's going on with you right now, how you're moving through this time period, and of course, what lies on the other side. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but the Gaia chimes, every time we went to this deck in particular, it stopped dead, okay? So there may be a very important message that comes out in this deck for you in a moment when I finish your Celtic cross there, but we'll get to it when we get to it. I like to read the energy of things as they occur, and I try to keep the Gaia chimes as steady as possible when I am cleansing there, just so that I don't influence the energy. So of course, that deck in particular, there's a silence over it, or perhaps it's something that's going to be very important, something to really stop and listen to when it comes out. So anyway, we'll get to that, as I said, in a moment. Let's get straight to your reading. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Great Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Scorpio what they need to know regarding their current circumstances at this time? How are they navigating this time period? What lies on the other side? So the first card there is the Three of Cups. Now that is your foundation card. So this can indicate that you're dealing with a lot of people right now. It can indicate that you're trying to be present in the moment, as it were. You're trying to celebrate what you have right now and be grateful for all that you have. But also, I see change is upon you. There's lots of snakes in that card, so it can indicate that you are aware of dynamics between people. You may feel perhaps there's something not to trust at this time, or the nature of relationships are changing in some way. But I feel for some of you, not all of you, but for some of you, there could be some sort of success that you've been encountering, and you're just witnessing people change their approach to you in some way. But, you know, this is really about you and the people you care about, okay? Because you have a crossing card of the Queen of Cups. Now, a lot of you, and this is a personal energy, it can be that you give so much of yourself that you kind of neglect your own needs. And some of you need to take a little bit of a step back there in order to recognize that you are important too. You need to factor yourself in to plans and to moments of things that you want to do for yourself. Be more independent, for example. So that's coming through straight away. We have a Magician card energy there as well. So this is about your focus. It's about your personal power. And I'm just going to go, as I said, and get, I knew the tower was going to come out. I mean, Scorpio, when do we ever not get a tower? Okay, now, how would you like to receive? Okay, the tower is actually in the potential position. Interesting. Okay, and we also have the Seven of Cups. Now, you have so many cups here. So this can indicate that you're all up in your feelings. You're a very sensitive person. You're very intuitive. And I'm being given an image right now, okay? And, of course, it may not resonate with everyone, but I have to give you what I see. I'm scrying in the water at the same time as doing a reading. And I see a lighthouse. And I see it on a very rocky shore. Okay? And the water is like very turbulent. Now I'm being given this energy that you are the lighthouse. Okay? So maybe you feel a little bit isolated or standing alone right now on something. Or perhaps emotionally things have been a little bit turbulent. And you're trying to move something or trying to move through something that has been very challenging there for you. Now, what I'm being given here is that you are like a beacon of light for others, perhaps. Maybe you are preempting something as well, because if you think about the nature of a lighthouse, you know, it kind of like warns people that the shore is close. Sailors, for example, or people who are coming ashore. So it could be that you feel like you need to keep your eye on something. Perhaps you're prepared or preparing for something, or you just feel like, I don't want to say it like this, but I got to say it like this, right? I feel like you're a very strong person. I feel there is this sense of foreboding, though, or something is off, or you feel like you need to keep watch for something, or you have a sense of duty where you're preparing for change in the future. And it's like you're being strong, you're ready for this, because my guides are also giving me another image to highlight the energy. I decode images as well, okay? So I'm just being given that. I mean, water always is about emotions, it's about feelings. The tower, you know, can connect to the lighthouse. So it can be that, you know, you are someone who perhaps you feel misunderstood in some way, that, you know, people can see you, as it were, but you have this beautiful light which somehow deflects other people. It's like you get to know people on a deeper level, and intuitively you also get a measure of them as well, but you don't kind of like judge them. It's like you can see their motives, you can see behind their actions sometimes, and you may feel that people, you know, they don't want to go deeper with you. You know, they don't want to see beyond what they see in front of them. So you may feel that people kind of like don't invest in you in the same way that you invest in others, or you're very thoughtful about others and you feel that others are not as thoughtful as you when it comes to you, for example. But, you know, the lighthouse, I'll tell you what the other image is now in a moment. The lighthouse, it just feels like this vast ocean of potential possibility. So it could be that you're about to break free of a cycle, because lighthouses, they connect to towers, and you do have one there. I mean, that one, oh, I gotta go get that card. But this one, it actually says upheaval. So some of you may feel like in the future, there is some sort of upheaval coming, or you're preparing, you know, for something. You're keeping your eyes peeled. You're vigilant, as it were. That's the energy I'm getting from this lighthouse, like a vigilance. But also, you tend to be a lighthouse in people's storm. So you tend to be there to pacify people or fix people, perhaps. Or people tell you their secrets because they feel like they can trust you. You can keep a secret. But there's something about this lighthouse right now. It's almost like a lament. It feels perhaps very lonely in the knowledge that you have. And sometimes, you know, your intuition, because the Magician card is there and you are very intuitive, sometimes that level of intuition can feel like a blessing and a curse, because you want to believe in people and what they're saying to you, but sometimes perhaps other people's actions are not reflecting their words. So it's like if you're catching someone out on a discrepancy, or they're being a little bit loose with the truth, for example, on something, you can see it and you're disappointed in it. So I'm going to move away from that energy because that's what's coming through right now. I'm being given the word protection. Okay, protection. So it could be that you're guarding against something right now, protecting your energy, or it could be that you preempt some changes in the world that are to come and you feel a little bit like isolated. It's like you can see stuff, you can feel stuff, you just know stuff. You don't know how, but you just know it. And you are a little bit nervous about some of the changes that are to come, and you're like being vigilant for you and your family at this time. And you're someone who's really strong and you've kept like this on your shoulders. So some of you could be dealing with that. I mean, that's very intense, but your readings tend to be very intense, okay? So I feel a lot of you could be, of course, doing other things. It could be that you've chosen a certain path and it feels very lonely, very isolated, but you're prepared for it. You know, you were strong enough to take this journey. That's why you were given it. So I feel like it's like a chosen path for you at this time. But I mean, rocks and water, it tends to mean turbulent times, but you're someone who's very strong and you are like shining your light. Nothing is going to dim that beautiful light of yours, that passion, okay? But also this structure, you stand out. So you could be dealing with these energies right now, but the other energy that's going with it, you know, that's kind of, I guess, complementing it really, is, sorry, my guides want me to go one more. I will get that one that's on the floor in a moment. I'm seeing like a baseball player readying themselves. And then what comes next is someone, of course, throws the ball. And then the baseball player is like hitting this ball so hard, like bam. And it's like way out of the park. Okay. And of course, there's certain bases that this baseball player has to get to, but I'm just seeing this baseball player like run and keep looking behind to see have they got the ball yet, have they got it, and just keep on going. So I mean, this could be that life, you are prepared for anything that comes at you and you're just going to be like ready and you're going to like shoot your shot at whatever it is. So it could be that, you know, perhaps there's certain obstacles that you're batting out of the way first before you can get to the next phase of your life or the next stage. And, you know, I see this baseball player going to like get a home run. So home run can be something about home. It can be stability. It could be that perhaps you've gone through some turbulent dynamics in your home space and you feel that, you know, you always have to be prepared for someone's kind of moods, for example, or you feel isolated in some way. But, you know, I'm just getting this energy of them like preparing like that first with the bat, okay? And then someone throwing this ball. I'm not seeing the person throwing the ball. I'm just seeing the ball coming towards the baseball player and then someone just knocking it. So it could be that you're readying or steadying yourself for something at this time. And, you know, yeah, look at this. We got the Seven of Wands. That's the defensive energy. That is the, like, defense. That's it, defense. I just sort of like, I'm a bit slow today, I guess, but that's it. You know, if you think about a lighthouse on the shore, that is the defense system that like lets people know this is the barrier. So perhaps you're erecting healthier barriers or you're like defending something at this time. So anyway, I'm going to go get that card. We'll take each level of the spread as it comes, okay? So one moment, please. Sorry about that, my beautiful Scorpio. So the card that flew way over there is the Hierophant. So this can be like maybe even symbolic that the Hierophant went flying over there because that's all about like structure. It's about the way things have always been, and you're like so fed up at that. You're like, throw that out of there. You know, you're learning more about yourself, what you're capable of, and you feel a little bit more like dynamic, like you want to step out or break free because your presiding energy, the potential there is the Tower, which is to break down structures that keep you limited or keep you in a position where you feel stuck in. So a lot of you, this Hierophant energy, you know, there's this energy of tradition. So it could be that traditionally you're bound to do certain things, or perhaps, you know, you do certain things and tradition has kept you locked into doing something that you don't mind doing and you want to keep your traditions and reinforce those traditions. But also it could be that, you know, there are certain things that you want to explore outside of those things right now, okay? So that's a lot before I've even started your reading, but anyway, that's what's coming through, so let's get straight to it. For some of you, this could be a traditional relationship that is evolving and changing, and, you know, perhaps it's broken down, or maybe it's a dynamic between people right now. With that Tower, something is restructuring at this time. But this reading is all about you, okay? So I feel it's important to remove the alternative energies that are coming through. But if you have been dealing with certain people, I'll just address this right now. If these are people that you really care about, of course, because you got Two of Cups, I feel in the future the relationship may heal, or whether this is a friendship or whether this is you know, family, I feel it will heal, but your boundaries need to remain strong and stoical in whatever decision it is that you're making, because it could be that, you know, the way things have always been is that you've been there for these people. You're always there to support them, to raise them up, to transform them. But when you needed them, perhaps they were not there. Maybe this is something that you're witnessing right now in your friendships or in your relationship dynamics. So I feel you could be just like noticing at this time and deciding, actually, I'm going to be different. There's a plot twist here. That Tower energy is all change. It is like I'm breaking free from something that you expect of me. And, you know, it's not that you're calling the shots. I feel like you just want it to be fair, reciprocal in its energy. So a lot of you with that Eight of Wands, I mean, Eight of Wands is also this movement forward, but it's also this kind of like, you know, I'm here. I should be seen, but not in an egotistical way. It's like, for example, if you have friends who are like, they contact you and they always say, should we go out here? And you're like, yeah, that'd be amazing. And you say, I'd like to shake it up a little bit. I'd love to go to this new place. How about we try this new place? And they're like, yeah, we could, but, you know, actually, I'm not really sure. And then they kind of like always make sure that they do it their way, for example. Or it could be that there's someone who's really hard to please all the time, and you're not a people pleaser, but you may have, just to keep the peace, for example, decided, okay, on this occasion, I'll compromise. Okay, but how many times do you compromise before you say, hey, you know what? I want to make a decision, or I want to do it this way. So some of you, there's this energy of like detaching from an old way of doing something, and it could be connected to a friendship group or a family dynamic there, or a group activity. It could be in the community. It doesn't have to be connected to friends and family. It could be even in your working environment if you're working. But this reading is not about things outside of yourself, but because your foundation card is the Three of Cups, which is about people, you know, coming together. So it could be some sort of dynamic that's broken down there. Intuitively, you feel there's something off. I mean, there could even be some gossip going on, and my readings are not about gossip, but it could be something going on behind the scenes here. I mean, the Two of Cups, Three of Cups to the Two of Cups can indicate you are removing yourself from a situation. It's like there may even be an event where there's a celebration and you're like, you know what, I'm absent at this time because I don't want to say you're protesting, but it's almost like I'm proving a point, or I'm kind of like highlighting that you're not there for me. So if you feel like someone's taken advantage of you, like life is life, okay? If we can't be there for someone and we explain, look, I want to be there for you and I love you so much. You're my best friend, or you're my, you know, my best buddy, or whatever. You're like, but right now I'm going through some stuff and I just can't be there. Of course, we all understand that, right? But if it is a person who's constantly making it about them, or making it on their terms, I feel like you're doing a lot of removing your energy from their space right now. And you're saying, okay, you don't get access to me at this time until things become a little bit more reciprocal, because you have that Two of Cups right there, okay? So I'm just gonna remove myself from that energy. It's something that just burst out in the energy straight away. Your first card is the Three of Cups. Now, when you apply this to your energy, the Three of Cups is about celebrating yourself. I feel a lot of you have been through some stuff. You've had to be strong. The Tower would not show up for you if you were not trying to build something. And some of you could even be rebuilding your life right now. Or, you know, we have that Seven of Cups in the past position. Some of you have been feeling really uncertain, or feeling that things are like up in the air right now, or kind of, it's almost like things are inconsistent. And it can be that you've got a goal You're keeping your eye on the things that you really desire in life. And of course, it's going to be different for everybody, whatever it is you desire. But that Seven of Cups can indicate this searching. You know, almost like part of you've been feeling has been under construction, like you've been going through some change. You may have even removed yourself from groups of people in order to understand more about yourself. You know, Three of Cups, to have on the Three of Cups snakes, it can indicate transformation, shedding old lifestyles, shedding old patterns, cycles of repeat. I always say a tower, you know, I'm not afraid of towers. Towers are given to us by the universe in order to restructure, to rebuild, or even to acknowledge where we feel stuck in, you know, some sort of confines of our own, you know, structure. For example, like, you know, we are told by society it's important, grow up, get your education, you know, find a partner, you know, have a career, get a mortgage, you know, have that sort of structure, right? And that's tradition with the Hierophant. It's something that's passed down from generation to generation. This is the best way to do life, right? But we've all gone through a major awakening in the last couple of years, and of course this will continue, and perhaps right now you're seeing there's an alternative to the structure that you've been given. So you may be breaking free from that. You know, for some of you with that Tower, you may feel that life has been a certain way for a certain period of time. And whilst it was comfortable, you may feel it's time to regroup or restructure in some way. The Tower can work for you. You know, sometimes the Tower can represent a prison type energy, that we get locked in routine, or we feel we're in a repetitive cycle and we feel, yeah, okay, it's nice, it's a structure, it feels that it could be to some degree stable, but is it? You know, so some of you could be actually deciding to break down a structure in order to do something a little bit different, or you're literally liberating yourself from something that you feel confined in right now. And also the Tower, you know, it means that you're accessing higher frequencies. And when you do that, there's always a lightning bolt that hits the crown chakra. This is like a beautiful obelisk there that is so incredible. Isn't it interesting that it is another structure that's a little bit like a lighthouse there, but this is about utilizing all that magical energy, that higher vibration. Higher vibe people tend to walk alone or walk a lonelier path at first. Okay, spiritual awakenings are challenging at first, but then of course there is that breakthrough point, which I feel a lot of you are reaching a certain pinnacle point in your life where things will get easier, okay? But, you know, this higher frequency energy means that you're breaking down anything that is not authentic and true in your life right now. Whether that is friendships, relationships, or even things that you felt informed you or you used to love. You know, things may be hitting differently a little bit for you right now, and you're just noticing something within you has changed, and therefore other things around you are also just feeling different, because of course it is cups. You know, this could also be that you're someone who shares so much of yourself. You're the sort of person that if someone was in need, you would give them your last cent. You'd really help that person in need, always, because that's what a Three of Cups is. It's someone who's really generous, generous of heart, okay? But also, I feel this is a card that indicates that some of you may be searching for your soul tribe at this time, or community. Community is important to you because it says here friendships, community, and happiness. And I feel like, you know, there is something that you feel like you need to change right now to be truly happy. Even though you know that happiness comes from within, I feel a lot of you with that Tower energy, you know, there is some sort of foundational shift that has occurred within you recently, and you're trying to navigate it. It just feels like you're a different person and things are just hitting differently. But this is your elevation towards, you know, shining your light, allowing yourself to be seen. It's no accident that you have the star energy there. So this indicates that you are a light bringer. And it also indicates there that, you know, you're aligned for something that will be joyous and successful. But of course, that's again something outside of yourself. This just is an energy because, of course, that Seven of Cups is in your past. And when you look at this spread, the past energy is something that you're coming from. The foundation energy is something that you're in right now. So it could be that you are literally soul searching, searching for your place in something, searching for things that connect to you on a deeper level because you are a deep person. You know, you don't like surface level conversations, relationships. You know, you're about the depth of things. And that's just about knowledge as well. You know, you don't want to be just told that, for example, the moon is just there. You're the sort of person to be like, okay, why is the moon there? What does it do? What's its purpose? What's the distance of the moon from the earth? You know, look at the pattern, how it affects my mood, how it affects other people's mood. You're the person who likes the details. You love to investigate the stuff, right? And that leads you to questioning. So I feel a lot of you are like at this pinnacle point right now where you are soul searching for where you feel like you not fit in, because again, you know, the lighthouse stands out. The tower stands out. You know, sometimes you're just born to stand out, and that can be hard because you're not doing it on purpose. You're just being you. You're the sort of person who's magnetic. You walk into a room, people notice you. You may not even spoken a word, but people, they're glancing. They notice you. You have a gravitas. And I feel a lot of you may have grappled with that within yourself to actually acknowledge that that is true power. True power moves in silence. So a lot of you are kind of rediscovering yourself at this time and noticing that you have a gravitas when it comes to groups of people, even when you're on your own, but you have a certain power that you can channel into things that will literally transform your life. I mean, a Two of Cups energy at grassroots, this can be a magnetism that you have, where you attract, you have agreements with the universe, the universal laws of energy. And I feel that this is about you acknowledging that, you know, sometimes you need to be alone in order to power up or have a stronger connection to source or to your manifestations. Because if you're currently in a group of people, whether it's your family, whether it's in like friendships, and you're enjoying yourself in those group dynamics, that's wonderful, okay? But the Queen of Cups tells me that you've been a bit of an overgiver, or you care so much, and sometimes that can cause tension. You know, when you care so much and you come towards a person with good intentions and they're like, I don't need your help. You know, sometimes it can feel like a wound or slight on your energy sometimes, and vice versa. But I feel a lot of you, there's this energy of needing to be a little bit more independent there with that tower. For some of you, you're breaking away from something in order to discover more about your infinite power or to refocus in some way. And that Queen of Cups, you know, it's all about compassion. It's about love. It's about unconditional love. And I feel like you may have offered people or situations unconditional love because you care, or even a dream that you have. You care so much about something, but you may feel with that tower that when you care so much about a person or, you know, a situation or a dream or a goal, that's when pressure's on. The true nature of success actually brings a lot of pressure. When you care about something or someone, sometimes it comes with pressure as well, because, you know, you want to make sure that you do everything to make sure it is perfect. And nothing is ever going to be perfect, of course, but the Queen of Cups is constantly giving. So I feel like a lot of you are exhausted to the point where you're under a lot of pressure in life, no matter whatever it is that you're doing, okay? I feel like you're always making sure that everybody's needs are met, but there comes a point where you have to acknowledge that your needs need to be met as well, okay? So I think that's the kind of energy that was coming through at the beginning there as well. But it says here, compassion, calm, and comfort. Now, of course, there is an energy because this is a water element and it's a person, okay? So this can be about you. And there is this nature of you and your level of detachment. It's scary. You can go from being like full on with your emotions, and I love that. I'm a Scorpio too. We have access to a depth of emotion that sometimes people pay for in order to go to a counselor to be able to access the depth of emotion that you have available, ready at your fingertips, as it were. And, you know, you may be in a period right now where you've gone through something that was either shocking because we have a tower there, or something that kind of made you feel very scattered in your energy, rocked the very foundations of you, and it put you almost like on autopilot, this level of detachment, okay? And I feel for some of you, it is a protective measure, but I almost feel like some of you, you may have been a little bit, I don't want to say numb, because I feel like a lot of you are very passionate, very intense, and I love that, you know, it's your inner compass. It's your gauge of how life is going right now. When there's pressure, Your body is saying something's wrong or something is not right or I'm not happy in something right now, and therefore we need to restructure. You're listening to your body, okay? But I feel for some of you, you may have been on autopilot or you may have felt numb. The last couple of years, there's been some crazy things going on. Life has always been highly pressured, but the last couple of years, it's almost like the world has turned on its head. And it may even be a world that you feel like you're not understanding anymore, because this is an emotional understanding. And some of you may feel that you needed to detach from all the chaos, because towers can bring chaos there. You may have felt that, yes, you are under pressure. And in order to run your life as smoothly as possible in all of these changes, because I feel a lot of you are like so fed up of change. There's just been change after change after change, because this is a transformation card. It feels almost like with that Three of Cups, even when you should be celebrating, there's still change. You know what I mean? Three of Cups is all about celebrating yourself, celebrating with people, celebrating the moment, living in the moment and caring so much about the people around you, because you realize that this moment and the interaction you have with people that you really care about is the most important thing. Okay, but still there's change. So either you're dealing with changeable people at this time and you're trying to navigate and protect yourself from any toxic dynamics there, or it could be that life, just when you feel like you're having a win in life, suddenly a tower comes along and you're like, not again, not again, come on, give me a break. So some of you could be feeling, there's a lot of pressure right now. I do have to acknowledge that the tower can literally be a very intense conflict between a person, and yourself, for example, because we do have that Three of Cups, and that is the foundational energy. So it could be that, there's three people, right? And then tower can be a very explosive conversation, or, a very kind of provocative argument. And then we're left with Two of Cups, two people. So it could be that, there's a falling out here. That in the future, there will be like an apology or an explanation and a coming together. A union between two people who understand each other a little bit more, but they had to go to that place to really hash it out and say, look, enough is enough. And then it needs time to have space and to breathe, okay? So a lot of you could be dealing with that right now. But more than anything, when we bring it back to yourself, I feel some of you, there's this inner battle. And I feel there is an inner battle of wanting more independence, but also wanting to do something that traditionally you do already. And whether that's spending time with people, or whether that's, a traditional thing that you do or something you do every day, but there's this yearning to go off and do something bold, daring, maverick, completely different, to restructure. Okay, and you may be trying to feel your way through it right now. As you can see, there's a window there, and those curtains are open. So it's like, oh my gosh, I just realized these are rocks. And there's an ocean there. I mean, that could literally be a window from a lighthouse looking out down at the rocks and the ocean. So a lot of you, it could be that you feel like you're on the precipice of something that feels daunting, and you're about to take a leap of faith. I can see that, you're going to go the distance. There's a lot of success here. Yes, there's pressure. I see pressure here. A lot of you are exhausted, because I'm being given the word fatigue there. But I do see that there's something opening up for you, a vision of what you desire your life to be. And the Seven of Wands says you're not going to give up. You're going to go for this, and it's going to happen. You're making it happen, whatever it is. And you're going to be really proud of yourself. But I feel like you had to walk a path that was challenging or difficult. And again, I'm a Scorpio. I'm like, why? Why does Scorpio always get the challenge? But it's because you're strong enough to deal with the challenge. So I feel this Queen of Cups there, although it says calm, comfort, compassion, interesting, comfort, coming out of the comfort zone. So some of you, it could be something that you want to do that is different, and you have to come out of the comfort zone. A structure, the tower, can be something we build around ourselves. And, it's comfortable, but then we want to break free because we feel stuck or bored, or we've reached a certain level in our lives. But this Queen of Cups, it just feels like somehow, I don't know, it's like life's out there, but somehow you're watching it. And it could be that you have to isolate yourself in order to work on a personal project, and then you're going to be free and you're going to get out there and, you know, whatever it is that you're doing, it's going to give you this independence. But that Queen of Cups, it can also indicate that perhaps you feel people don't understand your emotions, that they are a protective force, that your intuition, your knowingness is something that informs and helps other people rather than hinders. But I do feel there's some sort of inner battle right now where perhaps you're trying to rediscover that spark or rediscover that sense of self. You may have felt it lay dormant for a while because life is heavy right now. You know, there's a lot of responsibility, a lot of challenge going on, and that's across the board, you know, in any walk of life. And you may feel you just want harmony, you just want balance. You're trying to manifest, you're trying to, with the Magician, for some of you, you're trying to hold it all together with that Tower. Okay, I'm just feeling like the gates of tears. It's like you're trying to hold it all together. You're trying to be strong, but, you know, deep down, you know what it takes to run your life, how hard it is. And you may feel isolated or misunderstood in some way. You know, the Magician card is to be strong. It is to control something as well. And sometimes we need to just let loose. Let it happen. You know, let it flow, whatever it is. Because sometimes when we hold on too tightly, that's because we care so much. So when we care so much, it makes us shut down and close off the energy. So when we kind of like, and this is easier said than done, I know, especially with a person who has such a depth of feeling, sometimes we have to acknowledge a surrender where we kind of go, okay, I care about this and it is important to me. But I'm not going to let it pressurize me, or I'm not going to let it keep me stuck or hold me to ransom in my feelings, because then I'm losing me. So I feel a lot of you, it's like you don't want to lose yourself in this conflict or this challenge, because I didn't choose the cards for you, my beautiful Scorpio. Seven of Wands, if you know the Seven of Wands in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, there is a conflict energy. It's like defending oneself, or there's an opposition. So it could be like two sides of yourself in opposition right now. You want to go and do one thing, but you feel there's responsibility and duty over here. Or perhaps, you know, you want to break free from something that's always been. Or this could be a person. You know, this could be that there is some sort of challenge or having to stand up for yourself on something right now. And, you know, when we try to control the way it goes, sometimes we put that extra pressure on ourselves, and it can affect our health. It can affect, you know, how we feel. And it can, you know, isolate us or shut us off. So some of you may be dealing with that at this time. But I can see here with that Page of Pentacles that, you know, patience, diligence, and I feel that there is this energy of you aligning with a brighter future. The pressure will be off. Circumstances outside of yourself indicate right now you're walking a path that will benefit you long term. And it's hard right now, but you will have that breakthrough. Now, the Magician card, it says willpower, creation, and mastery. It's hard to master life, okay? I feel the mastery of life really is to be flexible. It is to be open to change. And because your foundation card is the Three of Cups, it can indicate that you've learned the hard way that change is the one constant in life. And you are someone who has had to be fluid in life as well. But also, I feel there is this energy of knowing how powerful you are. The Magician is someone who, you know, is very gifted, very talented, who has everything within themselves to make life a potential and a possibility, rather than let any structure or disappointment get them down. So you're the sort of person who walks through fire in order to get to where you want to go. And it won't always be that way. So if you're going through that right now, I feel a lot of you, there is this change happening for the better, a change that you will celebrate, because that's what the foundation of that Three of Cups is. There is change that you will celebrate coming on in, and it must not be feared. It may even show up as a tower and make you feel a little bit uncomfortable at first. But when you move through this, you're going to see, number one, how capable you are, but also, you know, it sets the precedence for this beautiful alignment with a wish or a dream lifestyle, you know, or, you know, it feels very much like you are divinely protected at this time. And, you know, it feels here as well, as you can see, all that water is like gushing down. So a lot of you are very sensitive. It's like breaking through. So for some of you, if you have been very sensitive recently, but somehow you've kept it all in. I feel this could be a nudge from your guides to kind of like say, let it out. It's okay to cry. For some of you, it could be that you're restructuring, a new start in some way, or you feel that things are not going as you'd thought they would or as you'd planned them to. But sometimes things need to break down in order to rebuild better. The universe is pointing you in a different direction in order to get what you want. The desired destination, your goal, is still going to be achieved. But sometimes the way we approach it can be changed or shifted, and we get to where we want to go, and it's easier. It doesn't have to be that hard. So I feel some of you may be dealing with that at this time. And the Magician card indicates there is magic about you, and you are here to embrace that magic within yourself. You may have had lots of people in your past who tried to knock you down, break your confidence. There may even be jealousy with that Three of Cups and the snakes there. Is there a frenemy, for example? Is there someone in a friendship group or in, the experiences you've had so far? Is there someone who has tried to limit your power in some way? The Magician energy is your earthly position. You're the sort of person, if you think it, it can happen. You may have even had in the past, like thoughts of a person and suddenly they messaged you. Or you may have thought of, a gift to purchase a person, and then suddenly the item that you thought about is presented to you on an advert. Or it can be that, you finish someone's sentences. You have a power where you are tapped in. And sometimes people see that power, and rather than celebrate it, they like to break it down because they see how strong you are and what you're capable of. And this can be in working environments, it can be in group dynamics, even family dynamics sometimes, which is really, truly awful. The foundation of the family should be nurturing, but it's not always that way. That's life. We have to be honest with these things. And sometimes, when a person is dealing with something, especially if they feel like they're not capable or they are doubtful of their success, when they see you being successful, it makes them think about their shortcomings, and it makes them want to topple what you're capable of. They may not mean it in a malicious way, but there's something there where they are competing because you have very competitive cards. So you may have noticed that partners in the past, or even present for some of you, or family members compete in some way, or friends. Someone, I feel you could have been dealing with someone who is competing with you in some way. And you're the sort of person, even if it's in an argument, even if it's in like someone trying to push your buttons, they can compete with you, but ultimately they don't really want to go there because you're going to be the victor. You're not going to stop until it's done. And the Seven of Wands indicates that the battle is on. And again, you don't want to go there because you see the fracture it could cause in a dynamic. You know what you're capable of. You'd rather choose peace, but sometimes people, they don't choose peace. And, I feel like they will see the measure of your strength if you're dealing with an argument there. A lot of you are going to phase this person out. It's like, I'm gone. You're teaching them what it feels like to have your absence in their life. Then they're going to know and they're going to miss. But let's bring this back to your energy because it keeps going to a conflict. I'm even seeing the word conflict now. So some of you, I'm seeing the word conflict. You may be dealing with this. Not everyone's going to be dealing with this, of course, but I'm going to reel it back to your energy. The Magician card, it indicates that, you have the potential to be a seer as well. Okay, the Magician, there's an energy here of, your personal power, your beliefs and your ideas reinforcing your life purpose, but also your life philosophy at this time, and seeing what you're truly capable of, rather than seeing the tower as something that is breaking down within you. See it as you being a tower of power to affect change in your life. And I feel there is this energy of you being resilient. I mean, camels on this card indicate resilience, staying power. You can operate under, any circumstance there. I mean, of course, the nature of what's going on in the world right now as well. We're living in a very volatile time. So some of you could be feeling like this vigilance to look out the window, and that's the view you've got in this card, is to be vigilant, is to keep an eye on something. So some of you could literally be keeping an eye on world events or on, things in your immediate circumstances, preempting a tower, because it is that defense mechanism of like, okay, just in case anything ever happens that could threaten family, friends, or, you know, the structure of comfort that you've built, you may feel very hypervigilant. That's the word I think I wanted earlier. Rather than being numb or on autopilot, I feel a lot of you have been hypervigilant or like in fight or flight mode. And this could have come from something that you experienced in the past that made you feel a bit scattered. Seven of Cups, of course, can be all about choice. You have lots of options right now, but the Seven of Cups can also indicate that there's been some sort of like deception. You know, it is a Neptunian card. It can indicate an illusion, for example. So it could be something that you experienced in life, or in the last couple of years, there's been so many like weird things happening and it feels like the world is on its head. Nobody knows what to believe anymore. But it's like you're getting the facts on something, but also you're using your intuition on something as well. You know how you feel. You have a gut instinct. And you may have in the past, you know, underestimated yourself, how strong your instinct is, because this is in a crossing position. Queen of Cups is one of the most intuitive cards in the whole deck. Okay, and you got it in the crossing position, which means you're psychic. You have a knowingness, but sometimes you haven't trusted that. And I feel a lot of you have made a promise to yourself to trust that knowingness going forward based on this cloudiness from the past. And it could be something that we've all gone through in the past, but it could be something personal to you. For some of you, because we've got a Three of Cups, the Tower, and a Two of Cups there, you may have connected to people romantically who were emotionally unavailable to offer you the love that you truly deserve and desire. They may have pitched you against other people. Maybe that's why I saw the baseball person, you know, being, you know, they're being pitched to. So it could be you were pitched against other people in a relationship. So if you were in a very toxic dynamic, you could have been with a person who was emotionally unavailable at the time, and because they felt very insecure, they tried to make you jealous by, you know, feigning interest in other people because you are someone who outshone them. And it made them nervous that you were going to leave. So the best way is to try and control you, because that Magician card can be about controlling in a negative way as well. And in order to control you, it means they can knock your confidence and knock you down to their sort of level, as it were. So some of you may have dealt with that, and you're healing at this time. The star is healing. A lot of you are literally healing from an event in your life that you've been exhausted, broken down, and tired of. I mean, this song came up for you before. I think it was like only a couple of weeks ago, actually. Broken down and tired. And I think it says something like fed up of the merry-go-round, but all I'm hearing is that broken down and tired part of it. Very famous song. It did come up in a reading for you a couple of weeks ago, if my memory serves me well. And I feel a lot of you are just dealing with that at this moment. You're like, there's a challenge. And with the Seven of Cups, it made you feel completely scattered in your energy and looking at options and trying to refocus. A lot of you are rebuilding or trying to refocus on something here. And it says here, searching for purpose, choices, and daydreaming. I mean, I like daydreaming. Daydreaming is important. People misunderstand daydreaming. They've almost given a negative connotation to it. It's actually manifestation. So partnered with your Magician card, this can indicate any dreams that you have. It's not a daydream. It's something that you're capable of making your reality. And you've got a certain magic about yourself. As I said, Scorpios, you go deep. Manifestation and visions, they're wonderful, but you have to feel it. And you have to feel it deeply in your gut. And you do. So whenever you feel something so deeply, it has the capacity to come true. Okay, and that's why you really don't want to go to any negative emotions. You don't like to go towards rage because you know that that attracts a vibration that has the capability to change your circumstances based on your rage. So you don't like to go there. So a lot of you may have even tried to manage that anger that came from, I'm being given like teenage years for some of you, but you fueled all this feeling into your sense of purpose right now. And I feel you're trying to lock onto your sense of purpose, reconnect to that passion, and restructure your life so you can channel all of this energy rather than just like seeing it in your mind, I feel like you're taking some sort of action, because this is an action card there, to make it happen. And the Tower indicates some of you may need to break out of a cycle that's been limiting you, or you may need to, I'm being given the word escape, you may need to escape some sort of structure that perhaps has kept you rooted to the spot. Okay, and for some of you, this is about you acknowledging what you're truly capable of. That inner strength, that inner resolve. I mean, the Tower, if you think about the magician, as above, so below, okay? And I feel like it starts from the foundation up. So I feel like you're making some major changes here, foundational changes for you that are actually going to benefit you. Now, of course, the Tower is in the potential position. So this can indicate there is a potential for a radical change here, something major. And I'm going to pull a card on it to see what it is. But looking at the way things are going as an outcome, it feels very much like it's a positive change. A lot of you, if you're in a single energy and you're looking for your soulmate, it could be that out of the blue, suddenly you meet a person and this person's been searching for a long time for someone like you. And it can be that, you know, it's love at first sight. And some of you, in your maturity, have perhaps even almost like not being jaded, but it's like you may have had experiences in the past that broke you down in love, that almost made you stop believing in the possibility of love at first sight. So I feel like you may not believe it when you see it, but I do feel there is an energy here of you falling in love if you're looking for love. But I just want to see what this Tower is, the Strength. Tower of Power. Three of Cups. You are a strong person. Three of Cups is showing up again. This is about celebrating your strength at this time, celebrating what you're capable of, celebrating the actual structure of your life right now, because you did this. You're self-made. And yeah, life, sometimes it throws a curveball. That's probably what the baseball thing's all about. But still, you're batting it out of the park. You're someone who is ready for every eventuality. You're always in a strategy. You're always 3 or 4 moves ahead of life itself, so that you're protected and directed, so that you're kind of ready for every eventuality. The Three of Cups is celebration. You will celebrate this change. And the Strength card, again, is showing you how strong you are. You really are a Tower of Power. There's this inner resolve. But again, I feel there is celebration to have in the future. You're aligning yourself with something that is going to be so positive that, yes, you walk through all of this transformation, but you got to where you wanted to be. And then you will maintain and sustain that level of success, whatever that success is for you. Some of you with that Page of Pentacles, you know, you're really focused on your family, your friends, the people that you care about, but also your health, your body. You care so much, you invest so much into everything that you do. So I feel like, you know, this is your breakthrough moment. You deserve a break. And I feel the universe is sending that Tower as a positive shift so that you can have that breakthrough. Now we have the Two of Cups. On the other side of the Tower is a Two of Cups. At a foundational grounding root, this card is about manifestation. It is about your heart space wanting something so deeply, so passionately, that the universe magnetizes it towards you. It means, you know, it comes towards you. You like give out this energy and the universe reciprocates and sends you your heart's desire. But also it can be, of course, love. You know, the Two of Cups is also about celebration. And I feel a lot of you tend to forget to celebrate your wins. You have accomplished a lot so far, whether it's a personal win, whether it's walking away from something that was not good for you, that's a win. Whether it was some measure of success, that's a win. We're always, as humans, looking on to the next and the next and the next, and you forget to celebrate the moment. So some of you, it's almost like you're trying to celebrate the moment with the people who are in your life right now. And there's a lot of waterfalls energy here, or oceans energy. So I feel this is also about your feelings, rediscovering feelings, or if you've been in fight or flight mode, sometimes that actually contains feelings. You know, it's almost like that fear can put a little box of emotion to the back so that you go, I'll deal with that later. I need to be ready. I need to be strong. I need to preempt any changes. And this could be the world, you know. We've built a structure in the world in the last 5 years at least, because of course we've had some huge conflicts going on. But it's like everyone feels they need to be protected should anything out of the blue happen. And I feel a lot of you are still feeling the reverberations of that. And it will take as long as it's going to take in order for you to find that balance, that harmony within those circumstances. But the Two of Cups says you will find that balance, you will find that harmony, and there are things to celebrate in your future. I mean, of course, this is about love, this card. So it can be that if you're having a conflict, you know, sometimes this can be you have such a monumental argument with someone to the point where they storm out of the room and they shut the door behind them and the whole foundation of the house shakes because you had that major argument and you're like, oh my gosh, that's too dramatic, right? But it can be the intensity of the feelings. So it can be that, you know, there's someone here that you love dearly, but right now you're in conflict. The love is still there. But I feel both of you need to find a healthy way to articulate feelings in order to kind of like move through this. And you will, because the Seven of Wands is to defend. You know, you see those two lions there, they're face to face. So it's like, okay, I'm going to say my piece, you're going to say your piece. Can we find a way to meet in the middle? And of course you will, because there's so much love, care, devotion, and a foundation of unconditional love for whoever this is. This could be a family member. It could be a lover. It could be, you know, someone you have a lot of respect for. So please apply it to your situation. But it says here unity, partnerships, and connection. So I feel a lot of you are reconnecting to that part of yourself where you are, like, of course, always connected to a goal, but I feel like the passion is amplifying. I feel there's this energy of you reigniting that spark for life. You know, rediscovering who you are. If you felt really scattered or, as I said, in fight or flight mode or in some sort of trauma response because of this tower energy, it can be that suddenly you're blending the energies within yourself and finding peace inside. And an acknowledgement that no matter what life throws at you, you're ready. That's what that baseball player is about. That's what the lighthouse is about. No matter what life throws at you, you're ready. You've got this. So there's no need to worry. No need to panic, no need to be disappointed, because what is meant for you will never pass you by. And you came to this lifetime equipped to deal with the circumstances that come your way, because that's your soul contract. We all decide what sort of things we're going to experience when we get here. Then when we get here, we're like, can I have like some evidence that I actually asked for that? Because I don't think that's on my receipt. Can you? Because there's lots of things that I've experienced like, really? I asked for that experience? Oh my gosh. Can I get a refund? So of course we can't do over, as it were. But I feel a lot of you, there is this coming home to self right now and acknowledging that there will be harmony. There's success through adversity for you here. You're conquering a lot. Whether this is the inner battle, whether it's the outer battle, I feel like you have been going through some sort of battle because the Seven of Wands is a warrior. It is someone who battles away at something, defends their position on something. It is someone who reaches the top, but also it's someone who tends to kind of like trigger jealousy in other people because you're not afraid to be yourself. You're not afraid to stand alone. And people get scared of that. You know, yes, you like to integrate with that Three of Cups, but you need to stand alone sometimes. And you're not afraid to be that lone wolf sometimes. You may have even felt that with that Queen of Cups there with the window, it's like you always felt like you're somehow integrated, but still on the outside looking in. So a lot of you have been soul searching for deeper connections, environments where you feel everything clicks, where there's something magical about the moment. You didn't come here to live a life of mundanity, okay? You came here to shine. You came to do something different with your soul purpose. No matter whatever it is that you do, every connection, every interaction you have, it informs who you are, but also it leaves the person you just left with an impression. And there's something magical about you. So how you conduct yourself, you know, you came here to change people, I feel, looking at this, because Three of Cups is people. It is, you know, some sort of interaction, connection with people, and you leave them changed. No matter the smallest interaction or the grandest interaction, you leave people changed. And that is something about your gravitas and your power. And people sometimes are scared of that because you can see their soul. You can see a part of them that they don't like to see. But there's also this energy about you, my beautiful Scorpio. Sometimes you being that lighthouse because you've had to be strong throughout your whole life. You know, that beacon of light. You're shining that light outwards. And sometimes people can't see because it's like blinding. Don't stop that. But the right people are going to come towards you and say, what's behind the light? I want to know that part of you. You're going to meet the right people who really want to break down the walls and see you for who you really are and not misunderstand you or misconstrue you or underestimate you. They're the true connections, and you are going to meet people who connect and bond to you on that level. So if you are searching for soul tribe right now and you're feeling a bit isolated or alone in something, I feel the right people are going to be sent into your life. And we've got that Eight of Wands energy. This is your advice to yourself. It's almost like keep moving. Don't remain stagnant. Keep moving. So I feel even though you've been going through some stuff, you're keeping busy. You know, there's this energy of just keep moving forward only, never backwards. I feel that is part of your motto. A lot of you, you know, you may lament the ghost of a past lover from experiences that you've had, because I feel a lot of you have had very turbulent experiences in love because of the cards and the layout. You know, Two of Cups, all about love, unions. Three of Cups, you know, can indicate some sort of interference in relationships. Queen of Cups, you keep giving all of yourself, and you are met with people who are maybe emotionally unavailable at the time, and it always breaks you down and leaves you feeling completely alone there. So with this Eight of Wands energy, I feel like, yes, you've looked back a lot in your life, but now you acknowledge it's forward only because the past has nothing new to say. It taught you lessons because the Hierophant is to be a teacher, but I feel like you're taking those lessons and you're moving forward. So it says here, rapid action, movement, quick decision. The Tower is something monumental that happens, and it requires a quick decision for you. So I would say there's something coming on in here that you manifest, something you've been yearning for a long time, the thing that you feel like you don't have. It's coming in quick, and you're going to have to make a quick decision. So I feel that you will grab the right opportunity at the right time. What is meant for you will literally never pass you by. It may even come back around in a different form, but if the universe has made a contract with you that you shall have it in this lifetime, it's going to be yours. And if you can feel that in the gut instinct there, that something you just know it's for you, you're going to secure it, whatever it is. There's security here. Okay, rapid action. I feel there's an energy here of a lot of movement going on, but also I feel there's a lot of change. So it's like you're very quick in those changes. You are flexible. And Eight of Wands is news coming in that will require a quick decision. And I feel also this card, it connects to you establishing priorities in your life. Who is a priority? Who gets your energy? Who gets access to you? I feel this is you erecting these healthier boundaries in order to prioritize your own needs and not waste your time with drama or needless kind of like surface level interactions. I mean, they're nice, but I feel like you right now, looking at your energy with so many cups, you're looking for depth, okay? So circumstances outside of yourself, we've got the Star. You came here to shine. That's natural. That's something that you pretty much don't have any control over. But if you've been in like some sort of isolated, off-grid, under the radar kind of mode, I feel like there is this energy of, you know, you've been laying dormant for a while. Now you're allowing yourself to be seen. You're getting out there. But the Star energy is healing. Some of you could literally be healing from a shock. And I'm sending you a huge hug out there if that's you. But the nature of healing will have a process. And there's going to be days where you feel like you're taking 2 steps forward and 4 steps back. But ultimately, you're still making progress. And the Star energy indicates there is a brighter future for you to look forward to. And this is something outside of yourself, something you cannot control. It's just going to happen for you. So I feel this is about you being focused on what builds you up, what makes you feel like you're passionate, you're happy. And the universe will align you with that because the Star is an alignment. It is to put you in connection with something you dream about. It's a wish. And it says here, joy, success, and celebration. As I said here, like the Three Cups is like you kind of deciding and maybe even sharing news or sharing your thoughts with people around you, saying, you know what, I would be really happy if this happened. And then the universe says, okay, there it is, it's happening. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's happening so quickly, whatever it is. And I feel like you will celebrate this. Now, the hope and a fear is the Hierophant, okay? Now, because it's in a hope and a fear position, it could be that something you've been desiring for a long time is coming your way, but it's not what you fully imagined it to be. Somehow it's better, but it's not exactly as you thought it would be, okay? Because the Hierophant can be an expectation. And because it's in the hope and a fear, you hope that your expectations will be met. But there could be something alternative offered to you at this time that is exactly your goal, but it's got some extras that you will celebrate. So I feel there's this maverick kind of energy there. I mean, the Hierophant is learning. It is knowledge passed down from generation to generation. So a lot of you right now, you know, in a group setting, you could actually hear something shocking about somebody, a piece of information passed down through generations, and I'm like, oh my gosh, now you're seeing them in a totally different way, but you love it. You see how bold and radical they were. So it could be that you like hear a story about a grandparent or, you know, someone from your lineage who did something really like challenging in their time, and you're like, oh my gosh, I love that. And you recognize that you get that rebel spirit from them. But, you know, this card, there is this energy here. Of course, it's a marriage card, and because you have so many kind of love cards, I have to acknowledge it. Some of you, if you have been broken down and tired in a relationship in the past, and you're single right now, you may be worrying that as you mature, you're not going to get married, or you're not going to have a high-level commitment. That's not true at all. I want you to be aware of that. There is so much potential for you to have that, and it's going to come out of the blue, okay? So don't give up on that dream if that's something that you really desire, because it will be coming true for you, okay? For some of you, if you have been going through a divorce, because of course it's in the reverse as well there, it can be that it shocked the very foundations of you. And for some of you, this can be like you questioning, will you love again? And some of you may be like, I don't want to love anybody ever again. I'm all good by myself. But when the moment is right, the universe is going to put you in a path to meet someone new. I want you to be aware of that. But ultimately, this is about you learning how capable you are, okay? And you tend to find opportunity where there is none as well. You make opportunity for yourself. I mean, the Hierophant is life philosophy. So I feel, you know, this is a revelation card. It can be that, you know, you are looking at your life philosophy and who does not respect your beliefs, who expects you to bend to their traditions or to their way of doing something. I mentioned that already in the friendships. It's like if someone always says, oh yeah, I don't really know if I want to do that, because they're trying to emotionally manipulate the situation for you to do something they want to do. It could be that you're kind of like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. But the Hierophant is, you know, again, community. So you could be teaching others. As I said, you move through life and you inform others, you change people. So you can find yourself being a mentor, you know. The lighthouse is the beacon of light, right? So I feel a lot of you, this can be an energy of you finding balance between doing something traditional, I mentioned this already, or doing something that is traditionally done in your family, but also having an extension of that, of you being a rebel or maverick and doing something totally alternative. And you can have the two coexisting in harmony. Okay, so I feel there is this energy of this inner battle, or these two factions, these two kind of like parts of yourself. The traditional side that wants to do things a certain way, and then the completely spontaneous, radical side where you're going, no, I'm going to just like plot twist and do something different. Those two energies can exist within yourself. And sometimes they may be like in a little battle with each other, but ultimately both of those energies are you. And you can find a way to blend those energies to make you get the best out of life. Variety is the spice of life there, okay? Now we have that Page of Pentacles. Of course, this is a card of effort. It's a card of stability. It's a card of news, bringing stability, a foundation. But also, it is a card of you being responsible. And when you have a lot of responsibilities, you care so much about what you're doing right now. You're still going to have that sense of duty. Life may have been pretty serious for you over the last couple of years. You're not going to, renege on your responsibilities. You're always going to be that person. That is that responsible side of you. But also, the Tower can indicate sometimes you're going to plot twist. Sometimes you're going to do things that you want to go off and do by yourself. Sometimes you're going to, make sure everybody's okay, but you're also going to go and make sure you have time for you. So it can indicate that, especially with that Seven of Wands, defending your own time. But also, I feel this is about your hard work, your investment in places and in people. And, it's about you maybe even looking at your finances at this time, because it could be that you're investing right now in life or trying to save. And you may be even trying to guard or protect against some sort of economic volatility to make sure that you're secure and protected. And I feel like you are. I want you to be aware of that. I mean, you have the card of protection right there. That is to defend or protect. And I feel this is, with that Page of Pentacles energy, it indicates that you are going through cycles or stages of something right now. And you're coming out the other side. And your vision of whatever it is you desire as an outcome is going to occur for you. Okay? So I'm quite excited about the outcome energy, because the Seven of Wands indicates that you kind of like hold your ground on something. You make something happen, you're in a good position, and you're going the distance. You're unstoppable, and you have that inner resolve. So I'm just going to go get some final cards for you before I close this reading there. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. I think this reading was a little bit longer than I expected it to be, so I do apologize, my beautiful Scorpio, but, the energy comes out as it comes out. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Scorpio? Ooh. What do they need to know in this moment? Okay, so let's see. I mean, all of these cards, there is an order there. All these cards connect to the reading that came out there. It says, to rise, you must let go of fear. And you're definitely rising, okay? I don't see fear here more than anything. I feel there's this energy of being prepared to face something there. But maybe that's the control aspect. Maybe fear, it does control us sometimes. So if you've been a little bit worried or anxious about something, I definitely see here these changes are going to benefit you rather than hinder you, okay? We've also got, it's okay to be different. Don't try so hard to fit in. So with that Three of Cups, it can be that perhaps some of you, there has been this energy of wanting to fit in when actually you were born to stand out. And maybe that's why you're at odds with your environment or with the people around you at this time. You're different. You're maverick. You're meant to be that way. So honor that about yourself. Don't fear the blank canvas. Use it to turn your life into a masterpiece. If some of you are starting again or starting from scratch, I feel this is an acknowledgement that life can go in any different direction. And this is your moment to strike out and make it what you want it to be. Don't fear that blank canvas, because I feel like, you are turning your life into that masterpiece. You're still going to reach your goals, but it could be that you're opening yourself up to alternative ways of approaching these things. And it says, try not to resist the changes that come your way. Don't delay the inevitable. So this change is beneficial. Yes, there is change all about you right now. You're in a transition period, but I feel like you're capable of going the distance on something. And I just want to read these two cards because I didn't at the end. It says ambition, desire, and diligence. But also it says mounting a defense and maintaining control. But there's different types of control. Okay, so you're maintaining control of a situation, maintaining and sustaining, but you're not crushing the energy to the point where you control it so much that you're rooted to the spot and that it becomes stagnant. That's why your Tower is there, okay? So I'm just going to go and get a trinket or a rune before we close. Okay. Oh, wow. We have a beautiful book. So this can be that, you feel like you're a closed book, perhaps. People don't understand you. Maybe the nature of people today, everything's so transient. You just want someone to invest a little bit more. But this could also be that you're starting a new chapter of your life and you're closing a complete chapter or a complete book on some aspect of your life, or even something within you has changed. You're like, I'm not the same person anymore. You're different. And of course, the book represents knowledge. You know, with that Hierophant, you're a teacher. You're a light bringer. And also, I feel like you may be in a period of learning more about yourself, but also it could be that you are wanting to learn new things for the next steps of your life. And you'll open yourself up to that knowledge, and it will help protect your position or help you be really successful in whatever it is that you endeavor to achieve. Because there's an achievement here. You know, you're going to that Seven of Wands, which means you've already gone through the Six of Wands energy, success. Something will be celebrated, but there's more to come, is what I'm trying to highlight to you there, okay? So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates. That was a pretty complex one. I do apologize. It was so long, my beautiful Scorpio, but thank you so much, and love and light.